Hey all, it is Wednesday today. We've had a big change of weather where it's gotten cooler and wetter, and there's a lot of smoke coming from up north in Canada. And it's changed the pace of work. I haven't really gotten anything done today. All of this was done yesterday, so there's the right side, and here I'm working on the left side. I got all the remesh that I purchased on there. Hey girl, you ready to interrupt me? Yeah, of course, you're born ready. And I'm starting to get lath on there and just shaping it as best I can to represent the structure that I want it to look like. I'm using some vertical rebar pieces here to help vault the ceiling. Enough, no more. And I've got some lath around the first layer around the back side, so I need to keep adding lath to this, and that takes a long time with all the wire ties. And once I get a window of opportunity, I will apply, and once I shape it the way that I want it, so I'm satisfied with the shape of it. Shush. Then I can put the first coat of mortar to start on the bottoms where it meets the tires, and then putting nails into the tires to connect the bottom. And then in places like this, like in the arch, trying to do a bead across the arch, or where the pieces of rebar are, to put the mortar where the rebar is, because that's where it's the most rigid. And then slowly over time, get more lath on it and more mortar on it, and then eventually this part will be all enclosed. But basically in this section there's a big arch opening, and then I didn't include any windows in this left part, so I put all these arches and basically for the walls and the whole right part, but in the left part it's all wall basically, so that from that direction where there's some public angles, kind of, the walls will create privacy. There's a town infrastructure over there, so when the vegetation's not all there, there's a pretty good view of over here, so this will create a lot of privacy. And then to just give you a little peek into one of the other, well, here's around the outside of this structure. So there's a tire wall, it's like a tire wall alley, there's one on the left and the right. So here's where I'm wrapping around this structure, and then what I'm going to end up wanting to do is connect over here to over here via an arch, or perhaps a double arch, or it might go arch to there, down to here, and then from here over to there. But essentially what I want to do is get some rebar in there, so there's some tensile strength connecting that small tower and anchoring it into this, with the strength of the tensile strength of the rebar connecting them. So that'll require some arch work in order to bridge the gap. And then once I do all of that, there will basically be a big triangle up here. So one point of the triangle at that corner, one point somewhere over here, and then one point over there. So I want to connect the 3 points of the triangle with a second layer of rebar and cement, which will form the footer of the future Citadel project. So a lot of it is uncertain, and it's kind of hard to picture, but that's the basic goal. So in the short term, it's this structure, and then that arch, and then I'll focus on the other part later. But that's all for today. That's Clyde, the oldest little rooster, learning how to make his sounds. And because it was a bit chilly today, we had the fire going on as well, warming it up. And oh, is that Clyde right there? Hey Clyde, how's it going? Good boy. You gonna make another sound for us? You wanna show us how good you are at making sound? No, you all done? You're very friendly how you run over here all by yourself. Alright, that's all for now. I just had another predator encounter. I was working over there doing the nails around the base of the new structure so I can hopefully get some mortar done today. And I heard a big fuss over here from the rooster and like some running away. And so I came over here, and then there was a fox right here, standing like right there. And the strangest thing was that the fox wasn't like, it didn't just like run off when I was there. It like stood here and just like looked at me and kind of like, it was almost like this submissive type posture. It just like stood here and like it wanted to be welcome or something, or maybe it's like partially tamed by other humans in other places and it's nice to them, but then it eats my chickens or something. So I chased it off. I like yelled at him and told him not to come back, and he ended up coming through this little thing, and that's where he went down. He went down right there and then right through there. So I yelled at him and I threw a few rocks at him. He didn't get the idea, but to try to, because his behavior was that he was almost like he was welcome here, but almost like he was guilty and caught red-handed, but it was just so interesting that he didn't like run away, but it was like he was submissive to me. So, and then I felt sad about it. I felt sad about the interaction. I felt sad about its situation in life, and it had like a long, seemingly scraggly tail and was kind of like skinny and not all that big, and I just like, I don't know, I think I'm picking up on its feeling. I think it's just kind of like, it's hard to be a predator out here, you know? You're like by yourself and you gotta find other animals to kill and eat, and like, I don't know, it's like empathy, like picking up on his feeling or hers. It could be a her too. But I don't know. It's just, I would rather, then I went into journal to try to figure out my own feelings and how I could have responded differently. Because obviously I want to condition the fox to respect my space and to potentially even be afraid of me, which that's, I guess, part of the feeling is I would rather love it than have it be afraid of me, but I also want to protect the chickens. And so anyways, there's some more for me to kind of process about how I can potentially handle that situation better in the future. But and then I have been throwing, sometimes I'd throw like eggs, or like the eggs that the chicken had sat on but didn't hatch, but I would like throw them down there to the base of the tree. So it's also possible that it's like found these eggs or preborn eggs, and then it was like coming up to see like, whoa, can I have more type thing. So anyways, I didn't hurt it. It didn't hit it with any of the rocks I threw at it. I was just creating the standoffish mentality with the fox, which was otherwise kind of almost like a subject. It subjected itself to me, and instead of like respecting it and loving it, I had to like be aggressive and chase it off. But it's just the dynamics of nature, and sometimes, well, it's just how it is, that's all. But figured I'd share the encounter on the video. Hey. So I got the first batch of mortar on this structure. You can see this whole bit here, and then basically all the way around on the bottoms, porcupining the tires together so you can see like the nails sticking out in some of these places. So it ends up as a rock with nails sticking into the tires all around it. So everywhere where the tires come together with the remesh and lath. Chickies are relaxing over here by some other wet mortar. That diagonal piece of rebar got some mortar. And it's going to be kind of difficult to get the shape of this arch here correct. Right now it's like way off. But that's what these posts are there for. It's trying to get this wall kind of vertical. And then I'm gonna have to use a lot of things to lean against it to try to bend it the right way. And got a number of different things helping to support the ceiling in different places. Right here where this is kind of a low point based on how I did everything with the rebar and everything. So I might, anyways, that's why that's there. If I could bend it, it might bend it a little more. It might turn out a little better, but this just shows the whole like backside of how it gets anchored to all the different tires. Oh, and here I haven't shown you this. So I kind of devised how I want to do this double arch I was talking about. So it's going to anchor this corner of this structure over to the gate tower there with tensile strength along this one axis of where the rebar is. Just the top line basically. So I got it anchored on this side in 3 directions. So the rebar goes down, and I got some mortar on that, and then the rebar goes that way and connects with other rebar. And then it goes to that corner where it connects to 2 other rebar pieces. So this should be really well anchored here to this whole structure to actually be able to provide a lot of tensile strength support to there. So I'm going to have at least 2 pieces of rebar the whole length, and then I'm going to tie together that V shape with, there'll be mortar there, and the arches underneath will be open. And then I might do some kind of ramp along the side of it, but I got to figure out how to anchor it on the far side. So I've got more metal work to do, more mortar to do as the weather permits, and then a little bit of kind of problem solving on that end. I guess that's all for now. Here. So you can kind of get an idea of the shape of it from above, and that part I'm doing over there. So here's the roof of the small tower. I'm going to take all that plastic and stuff off that I did to protect it from precipitation during the winter. And then I'm going to figure out how to anchor that rebar in, and then it might be kind of visible how this whole thing might look somewhat like a triangle, or I can reassess that whole idea altogether, but we'll see. I think that was it. Hopefully I got it. Maybe I'll be able to tell what it is via still shot. It is Friday evening. This is Star with her 5 chicks. One of them died. I think it was on the same day of the last video of the chicks. It got like trampled over here in the corner when the other chickens were around, unless one of them like killed it on purpose, but it got trampled. So just set them up in here, and look at this, what happened. Speedy had her babies also. We got chickies coming out her ears in here. How many are there in there? I see there's at least 4. And she's sitting on some eggs. And then look at this one over here. Uh-oh, is that a dead chicken? Oh no, she's sitting on eggs also. That looked a little bit scary from that first angle. But she's sitting on eggs also. Way to go, Speedy, your mommy. Hey, cuties. I'll get you. Hey, don't eat that poop. Don't eat that. Hey, don't eat that. Don't eat that. I'll get you some food. Hold on. Oh boy. So we got more chickies. Chickies. Alright, that's the update. Oh wait, yeah, I'll show you outside my progress. Saturday cleared up, so I was able to get 2 batches on today. So this is the kind of saddle in between the two arches that's growing. And then the walls have got mortar on the bottom pretty much all the way around. And then starting to build those walls up as well. There's a few gaps over here, but some of this is on the front and the back. And this piece of steel is pretty much all integrated. And the beginning of this arch here, the end of that arch is cemented in. Hi, kitty. And quite a bit more to do. I ran out of the wire tie again for the remesh and the rebar, so I forgot to get more last time I went to get supplies, all this steel and stuff. But I have a good bit already tied, so enough for several more batches, but it's supposed to rain, so we'll see how many more I can do in the following day or two. So it is Sunday afternoon, evening, and I've had a productive Sunday. I got 3 batches done. And all on the outside. And now I'm about to start batch number 4, which is a wet batch to smear over on the inside. So I just wanted to give you a little peek of what the metal kind of looks like. Usually the lath is always on the inside of the remesh, but on the lowest level, because it's just about vertical, the remesh is actually on the inside because of how I applied the lath, and that it doesn't really matter when it's vertical. But anyways, just looks kind of cool like this, and pretty soon it'll all be covered and all the metal will be encased within the stone, giving it a lot of tensile strength to go with the compressive strength of the cement. So the one thing I'm going to do before starting is spray down some of this. But I'll give you a shot after I finish this batch, which is 4 buckets. So those are the first 2 buckets of the batch. Batch is 4 of those buckets, which is a half of a bag of Portland. So every 2 batches is 1 bag. So this is finishing my 2nd bag of Portland for the day. And yep, I'll check in after. So after the 1 batch on the inside, got this, got the whole arch of the new stuff, and then just a little bit over here where it was all solid, and then a good bit over there. So I think it's gonna rain tomorrow, but if I can, I'll do more tomorrow, and otherwise I'll just wait on the weather. But yeah, most of the walls are here. I just can't do any more until I get more of the wire, and I've got a plan for what to do about these arches here, which are going to bridge over to there, and then what I'm going to kind of do for the facade and how I'm going to tie it all together. Got that all figured out. So I just got to get more wire to make it all happen. But that's all for today. Very productive 4 batches. It is the end of the day, Monday. Sun is setting, and this is as far as I've gotten this week. Basically just finished doing the inner coat on the walls, and then over here I got a 3rd coat on a lot of this to smooth it out, and then you can see about halfway through it gets from the more smooth darker stuff, which has a 3rd coat, to the other stuff, which is still it's the 1st coat, but it has a 2nd coat on the inside. So then the next coat on the outside is the 3rd coat. So I've got all the lath, I've got all the metal ties and everything to lath up the ceiling here. And plenty of Portland and sand to get this job done in the next week. But I'll leave it there for this week. Thanks for watching.